Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald.
Let me look at you. I know you're thinking, why is Gandalf here? Got lost coming here. Thought I knew where it was. Went way too far down on Academy, and I saw this guy walking, and I said, how do I get to Looney's? And he said, from here? No, from your house. How do I go back to your house and find it? You're in a good mood? That sets us apart. Because walking in here tonight, beautiful young women out front smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes. It made me sad because I used to be a beautiful young woman. Look what the cigarettes did to me. So cut it out. Do I have time for one more? How many have seen me before? Yeah. And how many is your first time? Does the second group seem happier? Anybody on a first date? How about a last date? I guess only one of you would know. I was nervous about coming up here, sitting in the back, sweating like a FEMA director watching the Weather Channel. Poor FEMA, they couldn't even get the people out of the snow in Buffalo. You see that? I'm starting to think FEMA means forget everything, move away. I am sad today. 15 years ago today, my father died. He was an ice fisherman up there, ice fishing. How much do you have to hate your old lady to go ice fishing? How much must you hate your wife to sit with your ass right on the ice? And how dumb must the fish be? I mean, if the ceiling opened up right now and a pot pie came down, you wouldn't be suspicious? COVID raising its head again. During COVID, I made a sex tape. I call it Home Alone. Wearing the mask so much, I suffered from phantom mask syndrome. Last night I went to a lower face reveal party. If you don't laugh at these, the virus wins. During COVID, I lost my sense of taste. I bought this coat. Big news yesterday. They shot down a Chinese spy balloon over Mexico. It was full of candy. You don't get that many piñata jokes, do you? It just... Came right from work. I'm a veterinarian. We're seeing one marijuana dog a day. They eat the edibles and the cookies. They blunder into the things, right? The half-life for a person is 26 hours. Half-life for a dog, 96 hours. They're on the moon. Yesterday, these brownies, you're supposed to eat 1/16 of the brownie to get your buzz. How do you get how do you eat 1/16 of a brownie, right? If I see a brownie, I just throw it in. I don't even chew it. But this little dog, a 22-pound Jack Russell, ate 8 brownies. Oh, you could put him in any position like Gumby. You just bend him. I don't even know what I think about marijuana. I'm Irish. If we discovered marijuana before we discovered whiskey, well, I tell you, Irish dancing would be very different. We'd probably use our hands. All I'm trying to tell you is you're young and I'm old, right? Things have changed. Legal marijuana, legal gambling. When I was little, they couldn't even show Dick Van Dyke in bed with Mary Tyler Moore. They had to have twin beds 50 yards apart, 6 pairs of pajamas, 2 robes. And now boner ads right at dinner time. What happened to our country? Last night, my little niece was over, 6 and 7 years old. I'm making spaghetti for them. Some ad came on for a product that says it could add 3 inches to a man's penis. Got to thinking, what am I going to do with a 4-inch penis? Enough about me. And these ads, I got to tell you, every side effect for Viagra, they say, can cause double vision and blindness. How do you get double vision and blindness? I can't see it twice. When I take Viagra now for sexual purposes, I take it to keep myself from rolling out of bed. Safety first. Now, Viagra's kind of like Disneyland, right? It's a 1-hour wait for a 2-minute ride. Thanks, one lady. Drinking my Coke here. I got 11 days of sobriety, but not in a row. Eating vitamins. You eat vitamins? Eating so many vitamins when tinkled before I came up here, looked like I'd eaten a highlighter. Some of these aren't jokes, I'm just telling you stuff now. It's so nice to be working for you guys. Sometimes there's kids at these things, right? Kids, and then you got to do the kid jokes. And it goes, there goes 10 minutes of material. So I'm so afraid I'm going to say damn in front of a CHILD. Kid jokes like this woman's on the golf course and she's really angry. And she runs up to this guy, to the golf pro, and she's yelling at the golf pro. And I'm so upset, and she says, "Madam, why are you so irate?" She says, "I was stung by a bee on your golf course." He says, "Well, where were you stung?" She says, "I was stung between the first and second hole." He goes, "Well, that's easy. Your stance is too wide." It's not a great kid joke. Kid jokes like, how come the little Amish girl got excommunicated? Too Mennonite. I'm gonna remember every one of your goddamn faces. Kid jokes like, I had a date with twins last night. Asked me if I got lucky. Yes and no. Stay with me. Holidays were here, came and passed. Time of year that smells like relatives. I bought a Christmas tree. Went to the lot. The young woman says, "Are you going to put it up yourself?" I said, "No, I'm going to put it in the kitchen." That's not a great kid joke either. All right, a kid joke. My girlfriend told me that her gynecologist had recognized her at the grocery store. I said, "You should wear longer skirts." We got to have a kid joke here. How about this? Yeah. How come all mermaids wear seashells? Bee shells are too small. It is nice to be here, because 2 nights ago, we had to work at a club in town run by the Jehovah's Witnesses. And all they wanted to hear were knock-knock jokes. Don't make fun of the witnesses and the Amish. The witness came to my house, knocked on the door. I let him in the kitchen, sat him down at the kitchen table, gave him a cup of coffee. I go, "What do you want to talk about?" He goes, "I don't know, I've never gotten this far before." During COVID, I started reading again. Actually, I don't read, I listen to books on tape, but it turns out I'm a slow listener. I like to read nude by the fire. I can't go to the library anymore. Today I was reading Consumer Reports magazine. The magazine article suggested that to cut down on your credit card usage, you should slip a condom over your credit card. Mine had a hole in it and I bought this coat. anybody that wrecks every joke you try and tell them? My mother's 94 and had a stroke and lives with me. She interrupts every joke. If somebody's trying to tell you a joke, let them tell you, because they're trying to reach out. And nobody reaches out enough these days, right? Even if you heard the joke before, let them tell you, right? They're trying to be nice. I'm getting ready to come here, and my mother goes, "You're going down to Colorado Springs to do the open bar comedy for the people?" "Yeah." "Well, tell me a joke, funny man." Got to be careful you tell your mother a joke. Two guys go into a bar. "Are they brothers?" I don't know, they could be. "Well, then start again, say two brothers went into a bar, I'll wait." Two brothers went into a bar. "Do they like each other?" Now you don't even know who's in the bar, it's her joke. But you can't write funnier stuff than happens, right? With your job or your family. Being a veterinarian, the stuff that happens, this woman came with a puppy, she goes, "My puppy's been poisoned. Quick, someone give me an anecdote." I told her, two guys went into a bar. I think they're brothers. Tell you a few things about myself. I'm 72, but I read at a 73-year-old level. I'm so old, I remember preparation A. I'm 72. That means in 6 years I'll be old enough to run for president. I'm sorry. It's hard getting older, right? 72. The only time I don't have to pee is when I'm peeing. Last time I couldn't pee at all. Went to the doctor, he goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "I can't pee." He goes, "How old are you?" I go, "I'm 72. He goes, "You've peed enough." I'm so old, I remember preparation A. So old, my kindergarten had a smoking section. My girlfriend said, "You want to come upstairs and make love to me?" I said, "I'd like to, but I can't do both." It's hard getting older. I gotta pee twice a night. It's really hard when you don't get up. And as you get older, apparently you do start to look like your pet. 'Cause this morning, my next door neighbor came over and yelled at me for shitting in his front yard. Trying to housebreak my little chihuahua. It's hard. She tinkles on the carpet. I rub her nose in it, and then I throw her out the window. Now I'm halfway there. She tinkles on the carpet, rubs her own nose in it, and jumps out the window. "72 and never been married. That's only one red flag." It's nice to be back in Colorado Springs. It's nice to be here. I've got a lot of friends here that are veterinarians. It's like a sense of community here. It's nice, you know, and a nice place to live. Community service stuff. I don't do enough community service. One thing I'm proud of, for the last 40 years, I've been a judge for science fairs for the Denver Public Schools. And science fairs. Mother of God. You ever been to a science fair? You've been to a science fair. You know, the little children don't write their own spiels. The parents write the stuff. I was at a second grade last week, 8-year-old children. A little girl came around in front of her exhibit entitled "The Atom." And she goes, "The atom's very small and can't be seen by the naked observer." I knew what she meant, but it's a great image. Naked observer. It's hard being a veterinarian. Your family think you know about all medical problems. My brothers call me up all the time about their own health issues. My brother called me and said, I've got a burning sensation when I urinate. I said, "Why don't you hold your cigar in the other hand?" I went to the doctor, told him my penis is burning. He said, that means somebody's thinking about it. I like that joke. Being a veterinarian, I like to read the classified ads about animals. If you read classified ads, you can tell that Americans can't spell, do grammar, punctuation, anything in the English language anymore. Saw a thing in the Denver Post that said, free to good home, pit bull, will eat anything, loves children. Shouldn't have been a hyphen or a slash. So another said, free to good home, Doberman, neutered just like one of the family. I've heard of dysfunctional families. But selling gourmet cat food. When do cats become gourmets? What kind of gourmet coughs up a hairball after he eats? Cat's not a gourmet. We're selling beef-flavored cat food. Beef. Cats evolved in the Mideast. They never saw a cow. Cow is one of their natural prey objects. Anybody who has a cat can tell you the flavors they like. Rodent, fish, bird, Miller moth. Moth seems like Mardi Gras for the cat at my house. And not beef. I don't get calls and say, Kev, this is Tex over at the stockyards. Your damn tabby just knocked another steer down, it's dragging it home. The hardest animal to work on, the worst, the stuff people ask me when they say, Doctor, do gerbils have individual fingerprints like human beings? Why, you missing some wood chips? And working on the little pocket pets, the hamsters and gerbils and guinea pigs, they're evil and they hate themselves because they're rodents. And they're tiny and they have tiny ears and tiny feet, tiny eyes, and giant teeth, and enormous balls. And they want you to look at their balls. Look at my balls, look at them. Ah! All I'm trying to tell you, if your balls are bigger than your eyes, it's disturbing to people. Most people find that disturbing. But I digress. This hamster got away from this woman, was gone for 3 or 4 days in her house, and she found him under the refrigerator. And she brings him to me because he's getting stuck to the side of his cage, right? So they got these big cheek pouches. I thought he had a cheek pouch abscess. So, I pull him off the side of his cage, and then he's like a fur Nazi again. Ah, look at my balls. Balls, look at these. So I got to give him some gas and make him 3 martinis so he goes to sleep, right? So I give him the gas, give him a little mask. He goes to sleep. I open up his cheek pouch, and out popped a refrigerator magnet. He's getting stuck to the side of his cage. You can't even make up stuff like that. You can't make it up. It's like rodent versus magnetism. And the stuff people ask you, someone said, Doctor, what do you give a Great Dane with diarrhea? I said, plenty of room. We're selling mint-flavored milk bones, the breath mint for dogs. Think dogs are worried that their breath is offensive to you? I think your dog wants to breathe on you. On TV, the guy's like, mint-flavored milk bone, so he'll like himself better. If I could lick my own balls, I'd like myself plenty already. Hell, I'd never go out, and I certainly wouldn't be worried about my breath. I got bigger fish to fry. Watching Animal Planet last night. The show was about the male rhinoceros. Now, it turns out on the show that the male rhinoceros, before he courts the female, he puts his own penis backward and sprays his urine all over his own back. I thought, hey, what a coincidence. I guess guys everywhere were all alike. Grew up in Denver, come from a big Irish Catholic family. I got 6 brothers. My mother told us one time, one is adopted, and I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I got to narrow it down. I think it's either my brother Patrick or my brother Chow Ling. Just little things about him. My one brother was 6 years old, came home with his first day of math. Goes, you want to hear my math? I go, sure. Goes, 2 plus 2, the son of a bitch, 4. What? 4 plus 4, the son of a bitch, 8. 8 plus 8, the son of a bitch, 16. My mother hears this horrified, throws him in the car, takes him back to the teacher, takes him in front of the teacher, puts him in front and says, listen to this. He goes, 2 plus 2, the son of a bitch, 4. The teacher goes, no, John West, it was 2 plus 2, the sum of which is 4. Son of a bitch was deaf. No children, my own, just nieces and nephews, right? My little nieces came over. My sister-in-law gave me an after-school snack to give them orange slices and raisins. That's healthy, right? Remember, we used to get after school wax lips, little wax bottles with pop in it. Apparently, our parents thought wax was one of the 4 food groups. Remember Pixie Sticks? Here was a health food. 9 grams of white sugar in a tube. What could go wrong giving this to a 3-year-old? Sweet tarts, so sour your whole face would collapse. Then they came out with giant sweet tarts. My brother put 9 of these in his mouth. We saw his nose come out his rectum. That's fairly sour. Tell you a few more things. I wear thick glasses. I don't tell everybody that. But since we're bonding, my glasses are pretty thick. When I was little, I couldn't go to national parks, and anything I looked at burst into flames. I dated this girl now. She said, why don't you get contacts? And I didn't have heart to tell her that these are contacts, and she should see my glasses. And now I got bifocals. Anybody have bifocals? No. How about any big people up front? That's a great joke, goddammit. Well, it's hard being a veterinarian. I don't know if I told you that. We're not supposed to be afraid of any animal, but I'm afraid of spiders because they creep you out. The way they move, they got hair and saliva, that's wrong. A bug shouldn't have hair on it. And now the pet stores are selling big spiders, wolf spiders and hobo spiders, big tarantulas. This guy came to our practice with this plastic shoebox, this giant spider. He goes, be really careful, he got out a year ago, he bit my room in the face and he had to have his head drained. I was like, get a phone book. But that's not a practice builder dropping a phone book on your patient. So you got to be nice, right? So I said, well, sir, what's wrong with him? He goes, he's just not himself. Oh, not his perky spider self? He called in late for work? No, he hasn't eaten in 7 weeks, and yesterday his leg fell off. I'm trying to think of something learned to tell this guy and get him the hell out of there, right? So I say, you know, it's been my experience when the leg comes off, they're obviously ill. It sounded intelligent, didn't it? It sounded doctorly. So I remember the Museum of Natural History has old Dr. Lick, the spider expert. I said, go see Dr. Lick, the spider guy. He's going to help you. Guy leaves about an hour later. Lick calls me from the museum. Dr. Fitzgerald, Dr. Licht. I go, hey. He goes, did you send Mr. Montgomery over here with this big-ass spider? Yes. Did you tell him, in your opinion, when the leg came off, they were obviously ill? Yeah. If you had taken time to examine him, you'd seen he's in fact dead. I just didn't want to get my head drained, whatever that meant. Your head drained. A spider as a pet, that's not a good idea, right? Like they're selling black widows in the pet stores. You know why she's called the black widow? Because after the male performs his husband-like duties, the female eats him. Eats him, except sometimes. The male is hip. And he offers the female the food object. And while she's distracted, he performs his husband-like duties. And that's how Valentine's Day started. I made that part up. Spiders as pets. You know, I just, it's hard being a veterinarian though. We are known as great lovers. I hate to tell you that. I had a blind date the other night, got her back to her place after the date. She said, tie me up, do what you do best. I tied her head to the bedboard and I neutered her beagle. Bet the last guy didn't do that. By Colorado law, it's illegal to own a big cat. You can't own a lion or a tiger. You can't own an ocelot, okay, or a panther, a mountain lion, leopard. And by law, I'm supposed to seize them and destroy them. But it varies state to state. And so, some places it's illegal. So this guy showed up about 6:30 in the morning, and he had an ocelot, a big cat from South America. And so that thing is grumpy and mean and trying to kill us. He's got a big mask on it like Hannibal Lecter. This big, and I go, we're supposed to seize and destroy. What are you doing? And he had all the right permits. He was from Louisiana, right? And everything's legal in Louisiana, right? They get drive-through daiquiri stands. My God-given right to have a drive-through daiquiri, Dan. So I said, I'm supposed to, what's wrong with him? He goes, he can't keep anything down. And he's living on the 11th floor of an apartment building with an ocelot, right? He's living like a cliff dweller with this thing. What could go wrong here, right? So I said, oh man, you can't put him up on the table, So we put him up on the table. We wrapped him up in a tarp like a burrito, and we all laid on him. And I reached in and feel his belly under the tarp, and I thought I could feel something. So I rolled in the ultrasound, and there was a ball, and it was one of those super balls we had when we were little, and bounced. And took him to surgery, and took it out, and then I seized the cat from the guy, and I gave it to my classmate at the Denver Zoo, right? It seemed like a better thing than killing it. And I called up Animal Planet and United Airlines, and I said, if any babies are born, there's a little male, and this was a little male. They have a little female over there at the Children's Zoo. I said, if any babies are born, can we send them back to South America where they belong? They said, well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. An animal control officer, a dog catcher that's a friend of mine, saw the thing come in, realized I wasn't going to destroy it, went to DIA and got a federally endangered animal agent and 4 cops, right? And so they come the next day and the guy goes, you have to tell us where that guy is and where that cat is. And I go, well, I'm from the 60s and I don't rat on people. And so I go, plus I got confidentiality like my priest. And he goes, you don't have confidentiality. The clergy does, lawyers do, doctors do, but you, my friend, have 3 felonies. Interfering with a federal investigation, 3 to 5 years, $50,000 fine. Surgery on a federally endangered animal, 3 to 5 years, $50,000 fine. And housing a federally endangered animal, 3 to 5 years, $50,000. And I go, I got confidentiality. I went right to jail. Jail is interesting. I'd seen a lot of prison movies, so I knew you had to make friends with a big guy. So I would sit next to this big fella. I go, what are you in for? And he goes, what are you in for? I said, I asked you first. And he goes, I robbed the 7-Eleven by Mile High Stadium. What are you in for? And I said, I did surgery on an ocelot. He goes, what the hell's an ocelot? I go, a big cat from South America. He was out before I was. They went to a jury trial in August. And so I walked in with my lawyer, and the judge goes, hey, approach the bench. He goes, I think you came to my grandson's science fair, So it turned out all right. Man, just went to veterinary school in Fort Collins. If the guy sitting next to me would have applied himself, I would have done a lot better. I'm taking you everywhere. I was worried about some of these jokes, writing them down. Got to work on cats. Not always so easy. Someone said, can my cat sit too close to the TV and burn out his retinas? Who cares? Now, we like cats. See, most women like cats, most men hate them, right? But look at cats for a second. I mean, they act like they paid your rent, stay out with their friends all night, sleep all day on the couch, vomit after they eat for fun. Hell, they're just like men. No wonder we hate them. Ladies are laughing like there's a battle of the sexes. There's no battle of the sexes. You already won. Did you know that? Don't gloat about it. Look, men are twice as likely to get heart disease, 3 times as likely to get cancer. You live 8.8 years longer than I do. And I got to carry your suitcase? What the hell kind of world is this? Carry your own suitcase. I'm already dying. Tell you one more thing. My gallbladder ruptured in April. Never had surgery before. Ended up in the basement of Rose Hospital, and you're scared and you're hurt. You know, and you're filling all the forms, right? And you got an ill-fitting gown with your bottom hanging out, and you're humiliated. They got me on a gurney, and they're rolling me up to the next available surgery suite. And I had this hatchet-faced nurse who looked like a ferret with earrings. And she's grumpy. She goes, "Hey!" I go, "Oh, God, I peed in the wrong bottle." And she reached across and she hugged me. And it was so gentle and so genuine. And she goes, "Don't be scared. I take such good care of my people. When you get out of surgery, I'll be right there." And she goes, "You know what? When I get up every morning, I say, today, nobody's going to be scared on my shift." Isn't that nice? And that's what we have to remember in these times where everybody's so polarized and mean, just to be nice to each other. Thanks a million for having me. Thank you very much.
Kevin Fitzgerald, ladies and gentlemen.